What's up guys, Josh here from Testing 123 Reviews. It's been a while. I've been on tour recently around Scandinavia this past month with the band, which has been fantastic, and now I'm back to bring you some more videos. So I'm going to start off with a lick of the day. It's quite a long one, but I'm going to break everything down for you, and it's in the style of Doug Rappoport. For those of you who don't know, Doug Rappoport is the touring guitarist for Edgar Winter, and he's an amazing guitar player and a really nice guy, and I got to meet him when I went to NAMM in January. And lovely chap, an amazing guitarist. And I did a in the style of him about a year or so ago, but I thought I'd break everything down from the little lead excerpt that I played to give you an idea of what Doug's style is like. So here we go. Going on there, we've got lots of different techniques and ideas going on. So we are in the key of E, mainly based around E minor, but we add in some Mixolydian phrases in there and some diminished arpeggios and major 7 arpeggios. So let's break it down. So we're going to start off with a kind of stock pentatonic lick, almost in groups of 5, I believe. So hitting the low E string off the guitar, bending the 15th fret of the B string up to the like so, and then picking the root note on the 12th fret of the high E, descending 15th fret of the B string, 12th fret of the B string, and then to the 14th fret of the G. And then the picking pattern, it has to be quite specific for this, so we're starting on a down for the bend, catching the root note on the high E with the upstroke, downstroke on the 15th fret, upstroke, down, and then another down on the B string to cross it. And we repeat that pattern throughout the rest of the pentatonic scale. So, starting from the high E string, we're going like this. And sliding down to the minor third and bending up a semitone just to get that major third sound very bluesy inspired. So that first part we got. And even slower. Okay. And then we slide down to the third position, hitting this C power chord, arpeggiating it, so C, G, and then C again, and then the second time we go power chord, jumping up to the B string to hit the 9, hit the D and the E, and then we hit our low E string again, playing this part of the minor scale. Measure twice, and then we ascend a E minor 7 arpeggio. 9th fret D string, 7th fret G, 8th fret B string, 7th fret high E string, and hammering on to the 10th fret of the high E string. So we go. And then doing this little alternate picking pattern. We're going between the 8th fret and 7th fret of the B string, repeating the 9th fret of the G and 7th fret of the G. And the second time we go 10, 7 on the B string. So from the C part we got. And just descend position 4 of E minor pentatonic, which looks like this. And sliding down down to the 5th fret to the D on the A string, and then hitting a D major arpeggio pretty much. We're going from the D, the A on the D string 5th fret, and then hitting the major 3rd, which is F sharp, on the B string, and bending that up a semitone to get a nice Mixolydian sound from it. Like that. So up until that point we have. So this is free for you to interpret however you want, because this is usually something that Doug plays in his solo spots when he's on tour with Edgar Winter. So once you play that part, we then jump up to the 9th fret of the low E string to play this big C sharp minor, C sharp diminished arpeggio. So I'll just break that. Quite tricky fingering wise. So we're starting with our first finger, 9th fret of the E, hammering onto the 12th fret of the high E, of the low E, sorry. So C sharp, E, hitting the flat 5, hitting the -7 on the 9th fret of the D string, root note again on the 11th fret of the D string, and then hitting the flat 5, going up to the 9th fret of the D, 11th fret of the D, barring the 12th fret of the G and B string, doing this little rolling. 9th fret of the high E, hammering onto the 12th fret of the high E, and then 15th fret of the high E, then pulling up. It deviates slightly on the way down, pulling off, going down to the 12th fret of the B string, 12th fret of the G, pulling off to the 9th fret of the G, hitting the 11th fret of the D, pulling off to the 9th fret of the D, 10th fret of the A, 12th fret of the low E, and then 9th fret of the low E. So that all together very slowly. It's a really tricky one, that, and picking wise, whichever feels more comfortable for you. I'm starting on an upstroke. Hammer, down, hammer, up, down, hammer, down, hammer, pull off. Up for your own interpretation once again. That's a very cool sounding arpeggio, really wide intervals so you can get some really cool sounds. Down to the C on the A string, 3rd fret, and playing this C major 9 arpeggio. 7th fret of the A string, and then the 5th fret of the D string. Jumping up to the B string, 3rd fret, hammering onto the 5th fret of the B string, then descending again. And then on the second time, hammer onto the F sharp to get a sort of Lydian sort of sound. Sounds very nice. And then we ascend to C major 7 arpeggio, looking like this. 5th fret D string, 4th fret G string, 5th fret B string, 3rd fret high E, hammering on to the 7th fret of the B, of the high E, sorry. So I'm going to play from the very beginning up until that point at a slower speed. Okay, and then after that we descend just 3-string arpeggio of that C major 7. Slide up to the 10th fret of the high E string to play another C major 7 arpeggio, this time pulling off from the 10th to the 7th fret of the high E, 8th fret of the B, 9th fret of the G, down to the 10th fret of the D, and then ascending back up. And and then sliding up from there to the 14th fret of the high E string to play part of a G major 7 arpeggio. So we've got and then sliding up one more time to the 17th fret, sorry, of the high E, descending a B minor 7 arpeggio. We got 17 and 14 on the high E, 15th fret on the B string, 16th fret of the G string, going off to the 14th, and then we're on to the ending part of the phrase. And then from there we just descend it with a little bluesy thing. And then sliding into the root note with our first finger to play this little kind of pedal steely unison sort of thing. So from the second C major 7. And then involves a little bit of hybrid picking here. We're hitting the root note on the D string, 14th fret, and we're hitting the perfect fourth on the 17th fret of the high E string, and then repeating the root note, going down to the major third, which is on the 16th fret of the high E, and then repeating the root note again, hitting the flat 7 on the B string, 15th fret, and then hitting the root note again on the 17th fret of the high E. So you got little pedal steely kind of thing. Then you can end it however you want. So, in its entirety at a slower speed. And then one last go at full speed. So there you have it, guys, a lick of the day in the style of Doug Rappoport. He's a fantastic player. He has a solo album out called Bionic, full of instrumental guitar and a few tracks where he sings on there as well. And it's an awesome album full of some really, really cool playing, ranging from like heavy rock, bluesy stuff to more fusion-inspired things, and some jazzy tunes on there as well, and a fantastic cover of Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix. So I highly recommend going on iTunes and downloading that. It's brilliant. And yeah, and if you want to know what gear I was using my Gibson Les Paul Custom with John Suhr Doug Aldrich humbuckers, running through the Diesel Einstein 100 watt head through a 2x12 diesel cab with Celestion Vintage 30s, and for the bit of delay I was using the absolutely gorgeous MXR carbon copy analog delay. So there you go.